Hello everyone, it's Kathy here once again to bring you another Pilates workout. For today's workout, we're going to do things a little bit differently than what we usually do. First of all, we're going to be using a box for stability. Now, if you don't have a box at home, a Pilates box, such as the one you use for a reformer, you can use any type of wooden box just so long as it's sturdy. I do not recommend using a cardboard box by any means. We're also going to be using a light set of dumbbells as well as some ankle weights. Anywhere from 2 to 3 pounds is good. We'll place these right around the ankle. Just right where the bottom part of the shin is. They got a little strap on them. Nice Velcro in. Make sure they're nice and secure. When you're ready, we will get started. I will cue our music. Place my shoes off to the side. Finish getting my ankle weights on here. Get my playlist going. Starting in the middle of the mat, feet are hip distance parallel. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, slowly guide the arms down by your sides. Inhale, reaching up nice and tall. Exhale, abs are drawing in. One more nice and slow. Now we'll pick up the pace. I'll add in a calf raise in a few. Lift the heels as you raise the arms overhead. Lift that left knee, extend, bend, and lower. Your hands are on your hips for stability. Warming up those hip flexors. A few more on the left leg. Flexion and extension. One more. Switching sides, lift that right leg, extend the leg, bend, and lower. Try to get onto a more even ground. It's mid-afternoon out here. Got a beautiful tree behind me. Just a few more. One more. For the next set, we'll be using our box. Still warming up. Sitting on the edge of the box. Plant the feet on the mat. Inhale. Exhale. Slowly roll back. Lift the legs. Roll forward. Come to seated. Roll back. Lift. Roll forward. Come to seated. This is a little variation on a roll. Warming up through the abdominals and the shoulders. Hip flexors warming up. You can also do this from the mat. And the height of your box does not have to be very high. I know mine's a little bit higher than usual. One more. Hold the position. Extend and bend the legs. Variation of a teaser. You can also place your hands out in front. You want more of a challenge. Still warming up through those abs. Roll forward for a moment. And you can always take your ankle weights off at any time. Make sure your shoulders are rolling up, back, and down. Palms are facing inward. Rolling forward for a moment. Little leg lift. Stretch that out. This concludes our warm-up. Going into our abs section. Staying on the box or on your mat. Want to roll back enough so your feet touch the edge of the box. Going into that chest lift. Hands behind your head. Inhale. Draw the abdominals in. Exhale. Lift the head, neck, chest, and shoulders. We're not going up very high. And also move a little further down so that your whole upper body is resting on the box. Your legs stay lifted up in that tabletop position. If you have a white black Pilates box, you won't have a problem with this. That's a length is slightly longer. Even a foam roller could work for this movement. Make sure your low back is planted, protecting your spine. Nice open shoulders. You can always lower your legs down. Touch the tops of the feet onto the mat. That also means you'll probably have to perform this movement from the floor. As my low back is starting to come up off the box, I have to go back to that tabletop position. That low back is crucial for alignment. Slowly roll up to seated. We're going to lean back onto our hands, elbows slightly bent. Double leg extension. A little modification on that. And if you're ready, you can go into that full extension. Bringing the legs in, extending out. You'll just have a slight lean back with your upper torso. One more. Come off that box. Pick up your dumbbells when you're ready. Placing one foot on the box, my right foot. Turn your dumbbells to face forward. We're going into that bicep curl. This is part of our standing arm series that we usually do with the TheraBand. We won't be doing the whole series. We're in a nice staggered stance with that back leg nice and straight. Stretching out that calf muscle, soleus, the lower part of our calf. Pick up the pace. Keeping the elbows about an inch away from the rib cage. Bending of the elbows as you bring your dumbbell shoulder height. Lowering back down hip height. Gaze is forward in front of you. Going into the tricep. Elbows come behind. Extend the arms back. Slight hinge forward with that torso. You can always add more of a challenge by stepping up onto that box. Sending that leg out. That adds a balance challenge. But for right now, we'll stay right here. Because we're still getting work in that back glute in this stagger position. Are those shoulders up, back, and down? Hinge forward a little more. Going to switch legs here. One more. Step down with that right leg. Step that left leg up. Bringing your arms out to the side. Doing that external series. External rotation with a bicep curl combined. This is combining our sitting arms external with our standing arms bicep. As always, you can add that little balance challenge when we get to the tricep. Stepping onto that box. This is part of our pole arm series, our tricep. except we're using dumbbells rather than a band tied to a pole. We're working a little bit of glute with the leg behind. You can always switch legs to get equal work on both sides. This is for the most challenging. If you want less, go back to that staggered stance. One more. Place the weights down. Hands on the hips. We're just going to that extension to the back. This is a single leg extension. We usually do this in supine on the mat, but today we're doing that single leg extension standing in a forward hinge position, so we get more gluteal work. Our toe is pointed forward. Now you have the option of standing down on the mat to do this, if you're not ready for the box. This box just adds an extra challenge, helps people with balance. Switching legs. Staying in that hinge position. Keeping a focal point in front of you. Just a few more. This is the only exercise we will be doing standing on the box. Slowly step down from that box. We're going into a forward hinge position. Doing that foam roller arm series. Flexion and extension. Working into anterior and posterior deltoids with latissimus dorsi. Slight bend in the knees. Helps protect the spine. One more. Bring the arms out in front of you. Going into that abduction, adduction. Working into the middle traps. Pull the shoulders back. Going into the circles. You can come up to standing. Being in this forward hinge position adds an extra challenge. We're working the shoulder blades, deltoids, and lats. Reverse. Coming out to the side, up in front and down. Nice circular motion. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Shake out the arms. Bringing the arms goalpost position. Going into rhomboids and pecs. The elbows just come to, before touching, about 1 inch apart. Lower the arms down at your sides. Palms facing forward. That same movement, except we're adding pec major work. Keep your shoulders down away from the ears. We're going to have a very slight bend in the elbows. You can always drop the weights for this one. See how my palms are touching? Just at the fingertips. Abs are drawing in. Lower your arms down at your sides. We're going to do one more movement for upper body. Part of that foam roller arm series, triceps, overhead presses. Except this time we're standing rather than lying on the mat on the foam roller. Lower your arms down by your sides. Now for our next series, we're going to be doing some push-ups with a knee stretch. For the push-ups, we'll have our hands on the box, stepping back into that plank, bend at the elbows, straighten. For the knee stretch series, we'll do the opposite, have our feet on the box, our hands on the mat. If the box is too high for you, just stay on the mat and plank. Grab some water. We will get started. Getting into plank whichever way you want, hands on the box or on the mat. This is the front support position. Slowly bending at the elbows, lowering the chest, lifting the chest, straightening the elbows. Shoulders are down away from your ears. Abs are drawing in. Keeping that spine nice and straight, open shoulder blades. This makes the push-up a little more challenging. And if you want, you can also do the knee stretch with your hands on the box. And I'll show you what it looks like with feet on the box. So take that challenge if you want it. One more push-up. So we'll transition to feet on the box. The best way to do so, place your hands on the mat, place one foot on the box, lift up nice and straight, place the other foot on the box until you're in that nice straight front support. Bend the knee, bring that knee in towards the chest, send that foot back. Now this can be difficult on the wrist, so if you have wrist issues, do this on your knees and all fours. You can also do this with your hands on the box the same way you did the push-up, except with the knee stretch. Two more on each leg. Last one. From there, slowly come down to that all fours position. Sit back into that rest. Come up. Little cat stretch. Scoop the abs. Flatten the back. Scoop up and in the belly. Flatten the back. We'll do one more set of each of those. Going back to our push-ups. Hands on the box or on the mat and plank. Bend at the elbows, lower the chest, lift the chest, straighten the elbows. We want a nice straight line from the top of the head to the heels. So keep those abs drawing up and in, protecting the spine. So take a moment and stretch. Tummy back up. Get a few more push-ups in for me. Last one. Go back into that child's pose position. Turning back around. Going into that knee stretch. Hands on the mat. Place the toe on the box. Straighten the leg. Opposite leg lifts. Reach up in that plank. Inhale. Drawing up into the abs. Exhale. One knee comes into the chest, send the leg back. Making sure you make contact with that box before you switch legs. Just a few more. Last two. down off that box. Cat stretch. Come onto your knees, sitting on the heels. Hands are grabbing the weights, holding that weight horizontal like a hammer. Lower and lift. Getting a nice stretch in those shoulders. Reach the arms overhead one more time. Lower back down, place your weight off to the side. We're going onto our mat for a little bit of pelvic curl. We're going to start our pelvic curl with our feet on the mat. Inhale, draw in the torso. Exhale, press the low back into the mat. Inhale, slowly hinging up, lifting the pelvis. Hold, exhale, slowly lowering, hanging in the back. Inhale, draw up through the pelvis. Exhale, slowly lower, hanging in the back. Getting some work in the hamstrings and the glutes. Last one slow. Pick up the pace. Keep those feet nice and planted. You can reach your arms up to the sky over the chest. Place your hands on your hips for stability. We're getting the stretch over the quadriceps. I'm listening to the squirrels in the trees. Pick up the pace. Last one. Hold it up. Slowly, slowly lower. Hug the knees in. From here, we're going to place that right foot on the box, the heel on the box. Left foot is on the mat. Lift up into that shoulder bridge. Slowly lower back down. Same as a pelvic curl, except with one leg lifted. Just a few more on the right leg. One more. Lower that right leg. Left leg on the box. Shoulder bridge. Just a few more. Send the opposite foot onto the box. Lift up, hold, slowly lower down. Doing another part of the pelvic curl. This one is usually done on a stability ball. We're really getting a lot of glute work. Arms up to the sky, or arms overhead, whichever you choose. This helps keep the lats from working. You start to feel a cramp in the hamstrings, place the feet back down and do the regular pelvic curl. Just a few more on this box. One more. Lower down slowly. Place the arches of the feet up against the edge of a box and stretch. Just getting the stretch in those hamstrings before we move on. Hugging the knees in. Doing that double leg stretch one more time. Except this time we're making contact with the box using our ankles. This is getting even more abdominals. We did this at the beginning of the workout, resting on the box in the warm-up. You can always go back to the box for this movement. Single leg stretch. Hands behind the head. You can also rest the head on the mat. This closes out this series. Come up and get some water. We're going into a side plank. Start resting on your side. Doing a knee stretch prep. Or side kick prep, not knee stretch. But we are doing a little knee stretch prep. Except this time in the side lying series. Rather than a quadruped. And we will bring this into a side kick prep and then the side kick kneeling. One more knee stretch. Hold it in. Side kick. This is the preparation for side kick. Really working into those outer thighs. And we have two sides to do. Coming up to that kneeling position. Back a little bit. Lift that leg, kick forward, lower, lift, kick forward. You can always move that box out of the way. I'll move back so I'm in front of the camera. You can see my upper torso is nice and relaxed. My bottom knee is nice and stable. This is getting even more into hip work and the outer thigh work and the side of the glutes. Switching sides. Resting on that opposite leg. In that clamshell position. Knee stretch prep to start. Side lying knee stretch prep. Move my weights over. Heading into that side kick prep. Bend and extend that leg. One more. Coming up to that kneeling position. Balancing on one knee. Opposite leg is straight. Lift up. Kick forward. Keep that upper torso nice and stable. Bringing that leg forward 90 degrees. One more. From there, going into a prone position, I'm going to move my box off to the side. Resting on your belly. Bend one leg, bend the opposite. Reach behind, grab for the feet. Lift the chest. Rock back and forth slightly. This is just a little rock. Some of us might have a little more bulk than others in the front. This is stretching those quads, stretching those hips that we just worked. Bend the legs. Do some little leg beats in prone. Hands are by your sides, over by your shoulders. Toes are turned out. Heels feet together. Legs are lifted up off the mat a little bit. Just a few more. Coming up for one final series before we stretch. This is part of our balance challenge. Straighten your legs out in front of you. Bend one leg in, bend the other leg in. Inhale, exhale. Lift one leg tabletop. Inhale, exhale. Opposite leg. Inhale, 45 degrees. Exhale. Slowly reach up 90 degrees. Flex the feet on that inhale. Hold the abs up and in. Exhale. Try not to use your arms. Roll over. Touch the tops of the feet to the mat. Roll back up when you can. I'm in a stuck position. I rolled too far back. Try to stop halfway. Roll forward. You can always do this movement stopping at 90 degrees. This is the rollover. But if you're not ready for the rollover, just do double leg lowers. We're bringing the legs to 45 degrees. Rolling back over halfway as far as you can. When you're ready, go up into that jackknife. Straighten the legs up nice and tall to the sky. Slowly roll back down, combining the rollover and the jackknife if you can. Otherwise, just stick with that rollover. Placing your hands in the back pockets helps. Trying to lower down with control if you can. And if you want even more of a challenge, add a core balance, only if you can. Reach those legs back overhead, touch the toes, tops of the toes to the mat. Reach one arm behind, reach for that toe. Opposite arm, reach for that other toe, and hold it here. This is the ultimate challenge. Try to keep that chin away from the chest. Keep from rocking. Let go with one hand. Reach that leg up as straight as you can get it. Let go with the opposite hand. Reach that opposite leg up. On this grass, it's harder for me to get this. So this other leg's not going to lift as high. One more. From there, placing my hands back behind my hips. Go into that scissor. If you can also do the scissor with your back planted on the mat. Gonna lift up a little higher. This is an ultimate challenge. So don't worry if you have trouble with this. There's modifications. You can place your back on the mat, hips on the mat, and do the scissor from there. One more scissor. Now we're going to bend the knee. Switch, bicycle. And for this one, I'll do the bicycle from the mat, since I'm starting to get tired. You can place your hands behind your head and do a full bicycle. That was quite a core challenge. I applaud you if you were able to get through that. Place your feet on the mat. Lift up into that pelvic curl, just a stretch. Reach the arms overhead and forward, like you're pressing water away. Getting a nice stretch in those shoulders and the chest, the pec major. Slowly lower down to the mat. We're going into that stretch. Doing the hamstring pull. Switching sides simultaneously. Lift the head, neck, and shoulders off the mat if you can. This is our final cool down. One more. Slowly rock up. Go into a nice wide stretch. Abductor, adductor stretch. Stretching those inner thighs. Bringing one foot into the inside edge of the thigh. Reach this arm over. Turn the upper body to face the knee. Open out to the side. Stretching through that quadratus lumborum on the side of the low back. That's one of our spinal rotators. Switching sides. Opposite foot goes into opposite thigh. When you're ready, cross the legs together. Place one hand out to the side, reach over, side stretch. Switching sides. A little twist. Bringing out the waist. Coming into a hip flexor stretch. One knee is bent, the other foot is in front of you, planted with the knee bent. Switching sides, hip flexor. When you're ready, have a seat on the mat. Reach the arms overhead. Slowly lower them down by your sides. Overhead. Lower down by your sides. One more time overhead. Hands into your chest, prayer position. Inhale, exhale. Press the hands forward, lower your arms down. And thank you so much for joining me for that workout. That was a brand new challenge, like one we'd never done before, adding a little box, a Pilates box, or any kind of box that you have. I look forward to seeing you again for future workouts. Let me know what else you'd like to see. If you want more leg, you want more abs, you want more upper body, full body, or just like a flexibility challenge, let me know in the comments, and I look forward to seeing you next workout. Goodbye.